Chosen ones, signs your struggles are ending, a divine shift awaits. Have you ever felt like you were different, like there was something within you that didn't quite fit into the mold of everyone around you? Maybe you've carried an unexplainable sense of purpose, even if your current circumstances don't reflect it. You might feel like no one truly understands the weight you carry or the dreams that keep flickering in your heart, no matter how much darkness surrounds you. If you've ever felt this way, let me tell you, you are not alone. You may very well be one of the chosen ones. Now, the idea of being chosen doesn't mean you're better than others or that your journey is easier. In fact, it often means the opposite. Being chosen comes with trials that no one else sees. It means your spirit has been called into something greater, something divine, but to rise to that level, you must first be refined through struggle. It's not an easy path, and I know that because I've walked it myself. I've felt the isolation, the doubt, the sleepless nights of wondering why life feels so heavy. But I've also learned that these struggles are not punishments, they are preparations. They are signs that your soul is being readied for something extraordinary. Think about it. If you were never tested, would you truly know your strength? If there were no challenges, would you ever grow? Struggles are not just obstacles, they are sacred opportunities. But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes, when you're in the thick of it, when the weight feels unbearable, that's when the shift begins. That's when the universe whispers to you, hold on. You're closer than you think. I want to ask you something deep, something you might not have considered before. What if every single struggle you faced was perfectly orchestrated to awaken you to your true self? What if the pain wasn't random, but a divine tool shaping you into exactly who you're meant to be? Let that question sit with you for a moment, because often what feels like chaos is actually divine order in disguise. You see, when you're a chosen one, your struggles are not ordinary. They carry a purpose. Life may strip you of things you thought you needed, relationships, jobs, even parts of your identity, because those things cannot go where you're headed. It's like pruning a tree. The dead branches have to be cut away so new growth can emerge. And while the pruning process hurts, it's necessary. It's sacred.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
But how do you know that your struggles are ending? How do you recognize when a divine shift is about to occur? The first sign is often this: you start feeling an unexplainable sense of peace, even in the midst of chaos. It doesn't mean your problems vanish overnight, but there's a quiet knowing within you that things are about to change. It's like the calm before a storm, but in reverse, it's the calm that comes before the breakthrough. Pay attention to this feeling. It's not just wishful thinking, it's your intuition aligning with the divine. Another sign is that you begin to notice synchronicities. These are not coincidences, they are clues from the universe guiding you toward your next step. Maybe you keep seeing the same numbers, like 1111 or 333. Maybe a song plays at the exact moment you need it, or a stranger says something that feels like it was meant just for you. These moments are not random. They are markers, reminding you that you are on the right path. And then there's the sense of release. This one is powerful. You'll find yourself letting go of things you once clung to: grudges, fears, expectations. It's like your soul instinctively knows that in order to rise, you have to travel light. This release is not something you force, it happens naturally. And when it does, it's a sign that the divine shift is already underway. But here's the thing: shifts don't always look the way we expect them to. Sometimes they come disguised as endings, relationships breaking apart, doors closing, opportunities slipping through your fingers. It's easy to feel like you're losing everything, but what if you're actually being prepared for something better? What if the ending is just the beginning in disguise? I want you to think about this deeply. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What are you afraid to release, even though you know it's weighing you down? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary ones. Because here's the truth: you cannot step into your divine destiny while clinging to the things that keep you small. And this brings us to one of the most profound truths about being chosen. You are not meant to follow the crowd. Your path is unique. It won't look like anyone else's, and that's okay. In fact, that's the whole point. The world doesn't need another copy, it needs you. The real you. The you that was forged in the fire of struggle and emerged stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. But I know it's not easy to trust this process. I know what it's like to question everything, to wonder if you're even on the right path. So let me leave you with this thought: the fact that you're here, listening to this, is not an accident. It's a sign, a confirmation. You are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't feel like it. The struggles you faced have not been in vain. They've been the foundation for your awakening. And now, as you stand on the brink of this divine shift, the question is not whether you're ready. The question is, will you trust yourself? Will you trust the process? Will you let go of fear and step into the unknown, knowing that the universe has your back? The sacred unfolding, trusting the process of transformation. When you're on the verge of a divine shift, the journey often feels unpredictable, even chaotic. But what if I told you that within this seeming chaos lies a sacred order? That every piece of your story, every heartbreak, every closed door, every sleepless night has been orchestrated to lead you to this exact moment. The universe does not make mistakes, and neither do you. Even your detours, your so-called wrong turns, were all part of the path. The question is, are you brave enough to trust it? Trusting the process is one of the hardest lessons for anyone, let alone for those who are chosen. Why? Because chosen ones are deeply sensitive to the world around them. You feel things others don't. You see possibilities others overlook. But with that sensitivity comes a tendency to doubt yourself, to second-guess your path. You might look at the mess around you and think, how could anything good come from this? But let me tell you something powerful: the mess is the miracle in disguise. Think about a seed. When it's planted in the ground, it's buried in dirt. It's surrounded by darkness. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, a transformation is taking place. The seed is breaking open. Roots are forming. It is preparing to rise, even though no one can see it. Your life is no different. You may feel buried right now by fear, by circumstances, by uncertainty, but what if you're not buried? What if you're planted? This is the sacred unfolding, the breaking open, the growth that happens in the dark. And while it's easy to resist this process, to fight against the discomfort of not knowing, the truth is that surrender is your greatest ally. Surrender doesn't mean giving up, it means trusting that the universe knows what it's doing, even when you don't. It means letting go of the need to control every outcome and allowing the divine to work through you. But how do we surrender when everything feels uncertain? How do we let go when the weight of our struggles feels unbearable? The answer lies in presence. Too often, we get stuck in the past, replaying old wounds and mistakes, or we get lost in the future, worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. But the only place where transformation can occur is here, now, in this moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. This breath is your anchor. It's a reminder that no matter how chaotic life feels, you are alive. You are here. And as long as you are here, there is hope. There is possibility. There is a divine plan unfolding, even if you can't see it yet. I want you to reflect on something deeply. What would happen if you stopped fighting against your struggles and started seeing them as teachers? What if, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you asked, "What is this teaching me?" That shift in perspective is not just powerful, it's transformative. Because when you start to see your struggles as sacred, they lose their power to break you. Instead, they become the very thing that makes you unbreakable. Another key to trusting the process is learning to listen. Not with your ears, but with your spirit. The universe is always speaking to you, but its voice is often quiet, subtle. It might come in the form of a gut feeling, a dream, a moment of stillness. Are you paying attention? Are you allowing space for those whispers to reach you? So often we look for signs of change in the external world. We want to see progress, results, proof that things are getting better. But the most profound shifts happen within. Before the external world can change, the internal world must transform. It's like a caterpillar in its cocoon. From the outside it looks still, motionless. But inside, a complete metamorphosis is taking place. It is dissolving, breaking down, becoming something entirely new. The same is true for you. You might feel like you're stuck, like nothing is happening. But what if, on a soul level, you're in the middle of a metamorphosis? What if the struggles you're facing are preparing you to spread your wings? The question is not whether you're transforming, it's whether you're willing to trust the process long enough to see it through. And as you navigate this transformation, remember this: you don't have to do it alone. The universe is always conspiring in your favor, even when it doesn't feel like it. The people, opportunities, and experiences you need will come to you when the time is right. Your only job is to stay open, to stay present, and to keep moving forward, one step at a time. So, I'll ask you again, what if everything you're going through right now is part of a divine plan? What if the struggles you're facing are not the end, but the beginning? What if this is the moment you've been waiting for, the moment when the shift begins? You are not buried, you are planted. And soon, you will rise. The turning point when struggles become strength. There comes a point in every chosen one's journey when the weight of the struggle begins to shift. It doesn't always happen in a way you expect. There's rarely a grand announcement or a sudden, overwhelming realization. Instead, it's subtle, a quiet awakening within your heart, a flicker of light breaking through the shadows. It's the moment you realize that the things meant to break you have only made you stronger. But here's the real question: are you ready to see your struggles not as barriers, but as building blocks for the life you were destined to live? One of the greatest misunderstandings about pain is that it's meant to destroy us. But pain has a higher purpose. It's not here to punish you, it's here to prepare you. Think about the times in your life when you've grown the most. Was it during moments of comfort, or was it during the times you were stretched beyond what you thought you could handle? Growth rarely happens in ease. It happens when life pushes us into the unknown, when we're forced to face parts of ourselves we'd rather avoid. And as uncomfortable as that may be, it's also sacred. It's the crucible through which your spirit is refined. But something magical happens when you stop resisting the process. When you stop seeing your struggles as enemies and start seeing them as allies. Because every challenge carries a gift, even if you can't see it right away. Maybe it's teaching you resilience. Maybe it's helping you let go of what no longer serves you. Or maybe it's preparing you for something so much greater than you can imagine. What if your current struggles are the very thing shaping you into the person you need to become for the life you've been praying for? You've probably heard the phrase, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," but let's take that deeper. It's not just about surviving your struggles, it's about transforming through them. It's about alchemy, turning the lead of your pain into the gold of your power. And that transformation begins with a single, powerful choice, the choice to see yourself not as a victim of your circumstances, but as the creator of your destiny. This shift in perspective is not easy. It requires you to be brutally honest with yourself, to ask yourself questions that cut to the core of your being. What am I holding on to that's keeping me stuck? Where am I giving my power away? Am I willing to let go of the identity I've created around my pain? These are not comfortable questions, but they are necessary ones. Because the truth is, you cannot step into your power while clinging to the stories that keep you small. But here's the good news: the moment you decide to see your struggles as stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks, everything begins to change. It's not that your challenges disappear overnight, but your relationship with them transforms. Instead of seeing them as something to fear, you begin to see them as opportunities to grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this teaching me?" That question alone has the power to shift your entire reality. And as you step into this new way of being, you'll start to notice something extraordinary. The things that once felt impossible begin to feel inevitable. The doors that once seemed closed begin to crack open. The weight you've been carrying begins to lift. This is the turning point, the moment when the tides begin to shift in your favor. But the key is to remain present, to stay grounded in the here and now. Because the divine doesn't operate on your timeline, it operates on its own. And its timing is always perfect, even if it doesn't feel that way. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Close your eyes and picture yourself on the other side of your struggles. See yourself as the person you're becoming, the version of you who has risen above the pain, who has turned their wounds into wisdom, their trials into triumphs. What does that version of you look like? How do they feel? What kind of life are they living? Hold on to that vision, because it's not just a dream. It's a glimpse of your destiny. But here's the thing: that future version of you isn't waiting for some external miracle to come and save them. They've realized that the miracle is within, that the power to transform their life has been inside them all along. And so do you. The same strength, the same wisdom, the same light, it's already within you. The struggles you faced haven't diminished it, they've revealed it. So let me ask you, what would you do if you fully trusted that everything happening in your life right now was working for your highest good? How would you show up differently? What would you let go of? What would you embrace? These are not hypothetical questions. They are the keys to unlocking the next chapter of your life. This is the moment when your struggles become your strength, when the weight you've carried transforms into the wings that will help you rise. But you must be willing to trust the process, to trust yourself, to trust that the divine shift awaiting you is already in motion, even if you can't see it yet. You are not broken. You are breaking open. And what lies on the other side of that breaking is freedom. It's growth. It's growth. It's the life you've been waiting for. The question is, are you ready to claim it? The awakening, stepping into your divine purpose. Everything you've endured, every battle you've fought, every tear you've shed has led you to this point. This is the moment when the pieces of your journey begin to come together, when the struggles that once felt senseless reveal their hidden meaning. You've been walking through the fire, not to be consumed by it, but to be refined. And now, as the embers cool, the truth becomes clear: you were never meant to stay in the struggle. You were always destined to rise. The question is, will you take the step forward? Will you step into the divine purpose that has been waiting for you all along? Here's what you need to understand about purpose: it doesn't come with flashing lights or a clear roadmap. It comes as a whisper, a pull in your heart that you can't quite explain. It's the feeling that you are here for something greater, even if you don't yet know what that something is. Purpose doesn't demand that you have all the answers, it only asks that you take the first step. And that step, more often than not, begins with trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the journey, trust that the divine has been guiding you, even in the moments when you felt most lost. Because here's the truth: you are not here by accident. You were chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to grow, willing to learn, willing to rise, even when it feels impossible. That willingness is your superpower. It's what sets you apart, and it's what will carry you forward. But stepping into your purpose also requires courage. It requires you to let go of the version of yourself that was shaped by survival. The version of you who played small, who doubted their worth, who stayed in situations that no longer served them. All that version of you was necessary for a time. They got you through the struggle. But now, it's time to release them. To honor them for their role in your story, but to no longer let them define your future. Because here's the thing about purpose: it demands authenticity. You cannot fulfill your divine calling while pretending to be someone you're not. You cannot step into your power while hiding parts of yourself to make others comfortable. To live your purpose is to embrace all of who you are: the light and the shadow, the strength and the vulnerability. It's to recognize that your scars are not weaknesses, they are proof of your resilience. They are the map of where you've been, and they hold the wisdom for where you're going. So, how do you begin? You start by listening, not to the noise of the world, but to the voice within. Purpose isn't something you find outside yourself, it's something you uncover by going inward. By asking yourself the questions that truly matter: what lights me up? What breaks my heart? What gifts do I have to offer the world? These questions are not always easy to answer, but they are essential. Because purpose isn't about what you do, it's about who you are. It's about the energy you bring to everything you touch. It's about showing up fully and authentically in every moment. And as you step into your purpose, something incredible happens. The struggles that once felt overwhelming begin to fade into the background. They don't disappear, but they lose their power over you. Because now you see them for what they truly are: stepping stones. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt was preparing you for this. For the realization that you are not defined by your pain, but by how you chose to rise from it. This is the awakening. The moment when you stop running from your struggles and start running toward your destiny. The moment when you realize that the divine shift you've been waiting for isn't something outside of you, it's within you. It's been within you all along, waiting for you to claim it. And now, the time has come. So I'll leave you with this: your purpose is not a destination, it's a journey. It's a path that will continue to unfold as you grow, as you evolve, as you step deeper into the truth of who you are. But the first step is always the hardest. It's the moment you decide to trust yourself, to trust the process, to trust that everything you've been through has prepared you for this. You are not here by accident. You are here because the world needs your light. You've been chosen not because it's easy, but because you are strong enough to carry it. The struggles you've faced have not been in vain, they've been the foundation for your awakening. And now, as you stand on the edge of this divine shift, the only thing left to do is step forward. Are you ready? Because the universe is waiting for you. The world is waiting for you, and your purpose is calling. It's time to rise.